Hello students of 6th standard, we have started the lesson that is nothing but lesson number 1, natural resources, air, water and land. Today we are going to see something new about the, you can say, land. So we are going to study the land today. So what does this tells us? Land is seen in the form of stones, soil, big rocks. We see the land in the form of the, you can say, stones, soils or big rocks. It is not flat everywhere. So whenever we see the land, it is not flat everywhere. It is hilly in some place. It is hilly. There are mountains in some place. It is flat in the other places also. See, all terrestrial animals, including man, live on the land. We all and the terrestrial animals, they all live on the land. Some terrestrial dig burrows. There are some terrestrial animals. Terrestrial animals means the animals whichever are living on the land. These animals, they dig the burrows. Burrows म्हणजे बीळ काढतात किंवा बिळामध्ये राहतात. Some terrestrial dig burrows in ground for the shelter. There are some terrestrial animals which are building the burrows in the ground for their shelter. This means that they use land for fulfilling their need. So what they do? They make use of the land for fulfilling their need. We also use land for farming. We also use land for farming. We are doing the agriculture in the, you can say, land. And also we are building the houses and roads on the, you can say, land. We can make use of plants and animals in the forest that grow on the land. So whatever the, you can say, animals or you can say plants that are growing on the land, we can make use of that also. The minerals, the crude oil, whatever, crude oil means कच्चं तेल. Then see minerals, and then again natural gas. All whatever is obtained from the earth or you can say whatever is obtained from the land is very important to us. What is important? See here, the minerals, the crude oil, the natural gas which is obtained from the earth or you can say which is obtained from the land is very important for us. It means that land is an important source. So what does it mean? Land is nothing but one of the important resource which is giving us a natural resources. Then see, let us see exactly what is land made up of. We want to see what is the land made up of. See there in your textbook. Let us try this. Take a transparent plastic bottle. You want to take a transparent plastic bottle, a handful of soil, some stones, sand, some dry leaves and water. Cut off the upper tapering part of the bottle. Put the rest of the material in the lower part and add water. What you want to do? You want to cut the upper part of the bottle and you want to put the material that is nothing but soil, some stones, sand, some dry leaves and water into the bottle. Now what you have to do? You have to stir the mixture. You have to stir the mixture thoroughly and put it aside. Then observe it next day. So what do you see there? There are various layers formed. Various layers are formed of, you can say, big stones, small stones, sand, soil or you can say dry leaves. So what do you see at the bottom? At the bottom we see that very big stones. They are, you can say, settled. Then see afterwards after putting this bottle for some you can say some minutes, then you can observe all these things or the layers, different layers of the, you can say, sand, soil, then sand, stones, then again leaves, all these things you can observe in it. See next one. The land on the earth also looks like this. Whenever you see the land on the earth, it also looks like this. So whatever we have seen, the different layers of the different things in the bottle, same in the same way the land also is made up of. Or you can say, if a pipeline is being laid in your neighborhood, see, if a pipeline is being laid in your neighborhood, then what you have to do? You have to observe carefully whenever the pit means what? Khadda. Whenever the pit is dug, you want to observe it carefully. You see the various layers of the things there also. Then see, you will see some layers under the land surface as it is shown in the figure. Then see, if the land has mature soil, the topmost layer is formed of decomposition of remains of plants and animals. What does it tell us here? If the land has the mature soil, that means all the things are prepared in this, you can say, soil. Then what does this tell us? The topmost layer is formed of the decomposition of the remains. Decomposition means kujlele. Then see, of remains. Remains means rahilele. Of plants and animals. Then see, this layer is called as a humus. What it is called? It is called as a humus. You may found usually this into the dense forest. Then see here next, what does it tell us? The land below this is full of sands. The land, whenever you dig it, what do you see? That the land below this is full of sands, soil, small stones, worms and insects are present in the soil or in the earth. Soil and piece of bedrock are found below this. Whenever you see, the soil and a piece of a bedrock are found below this. The soil is immature. How is the soil? The soil is nothing but immature. Further, below this layer, the proportion of soil decreases. What happens? See there, below this layer, the proportion of the soil decreases and that of the rock increases. That means soil proportion becomes less and the rock proportion becomes more. This is the layer of the bedrock. This we call it as a bedrock. The main minerals in the soil are derived from these rocks. The main minerals whichever we are getting, खनिज ज्याला आपण म्हणतो, that we are getting from the, you can say, or metals, we call it as metals, non-metals, metalloids, all these things we are getting from these rocks. That is why soil in different regions is different. So whenever you see the soil in a particular area, it is different from the other region. The color and the texture of the soil are both determined by the bedrock. We can determine the color and the texture of the soil both by the, you can say, type of the bedrock. See there next one in your page, the process of soil formation. So what does it tells us? See, the soil on the land is nothing but one of the, you can say, natural process. The soil is formed on the land by a natural process. The abiotic means here soil, sand, water, stones, these are nothing but the abiotic components. These of the soil supply through the withering of the bedrock. Whenever there is a, you can say, withering of the bedrock, then what happens? The abiotic components we are going to get. Due to heat, cold water of the, you can say, sun, wind and rain respectively, the bedrock breaks down into species. What happens? See there, as there is heat, cold and water, rainy season, we know, and as there is a sun, there will be the withering of the bedrock, and from the withering of the bedrock we are getting the bedrock. What happens? It breaks into the pieces. Then see, stones or sands or soils are formed from these pieces. So what is happening? There is a withering of the bedrock, and as there is a withering of the bedrock, it is due to the heat, or you can say cold or water or sun, and due to this we are getting a very small stones. Formation of a small stones are there. Microworms and insects are found among them. Whenever you see the microworms or insects, they are found among them. Then rodents like mice and rats are also found here. See, the roots of the trees growing on the land also help withering of the rock. What happens? The roots of the trees, what they are doing? Here withering means breaking of the rocks, you can see. Then see, the roots of the trees growing on the land also form the withering of the rock. The process of the soil formation is slow and continuous. This process is not fast process. It is a very slow, but it is a continuous process. It takes about 1000 years for 2.5 centimeter thick layer of mature soil to form. That means to form a mature soil, that is nothing but thickness of 2.5 centimeter. It takes a thousands of years. Then see, soil can get destroyed in short period. Soil can get destroyed in short period due to the floods, or you can say storms, or human activities, or you can say mining. All this may cause the you can say disturbance of the soil. That is why it is necessary to conserve the soil and to prevent the erosion of the soil. What you have to do? You have to prevent the soil from disturbing or from destroying. It is destroying from floods, from storms, then again other human activities are there such as mining. All this destroys the soil, and you want to conserve the soil, and you want to also prevent the erosion of the land. Best remedy for this is to increase you can say green cover of the land. What you have to do? You have to increase the green cover of the land. Erosion of the land. How you can reduce the erosion of the land? You can reduce it if grass, trees and bushes are grown on it. You can say prevent the erosion of the soil by growing the grass, trees and bushes on the soil. Then see, you have to obtain some specimens which are in your surroundings, such as your own yard, garden, hill, river banks, fields, rocky gardens and some other specimen, or you have to see what the soil color is there. You have to feel the texture, then again the size of the particles in the soil. Then see next one. Do you know? Humus is the layer formed on the soil. So humus is the layer which is formed on the soil. It is formed due to the decomposition of dead plants and animals. How it is formed? It is formed due to the decomposition of the plants and animals by microbes. How this decomposition is formed? This decomposition of plants and animals is done by the microbes. Then see, humus supplies nutrients to the soil. What does the humus play its role? It plays, you can say, it supplies the nutrients to the soil. It is one of the important aerating the soil. It is also important for, you can say, aerating the soil and for holding water in the soil. Then see, protection of the humus. What you have to do? You have to protect this humus, as it is very important in the upper layer of the good fertile soil is about 33% to 50%. So you have to protect this. Then see, living things use, you can say, land, water and air which is available on the air, and so does the man. And so the man is also using this land, water and air. However, the portion of these sources are actually put to use a very small as compared to whole earth. Look that. Land is how much percent? 29%. Potable water or fresh water is 0.3%. Then oxygen is 21%. All these are in a very small proportion, but they are, you can say, sufficient to the living things. Only it is very necessary of a man to control its greed. So he should not be greedy. Whatever the natural resources are given by the nature, he should use it properly. He should conserve it properly. Then see, there should be awareness into the minds of the people about the living things, and we should take care of all this.